Ohio Northern professor has won an international award, and we're going to find out more about that and his work. Joining us today, he is the chair of the Ohio Northern Department of Civil and Environmental Engineering. We've got Bryan Boulanger, and thanks for coming today.
Well, thank you for having me.
Okay, so first of all, let's talk about your work. What is your project that you worked on that you got this national recognition?
Sure, it's really been a series of projects over the years focused on supporting the National Park Service and local communities to better understand the quality of their lighting and to make it more protective of the natural night sky.
Yeah, because I think in the city and in even our rural areas, we don't understand how much light pollution there is, right? And that's what we're trying to cut a little bit, is this light pollution?
That's exactly it. Yeah, light pollution is the presence of artificial light in the night sky that isn't normally there. And in a sense, over time, with the lighting infrastructure that we have, the problem of light pollution has grown about 3% per year every year, outpacing the population growth. And if you're in Ohio, even in the rural areas, we can no longer see a lot of the natural features of the night sky because the light from nearby cities and population centers actually spills out and prevents us from not only enjoying the visual aesthetics of the night sky, but doing science with the night sky and impacting the nocturnal environments that animals need for their own well-being.
Right. I mean, we might think, oh, what's the big deal? It's not as dark and stuff. But as you kind of touched on, there's a lot that rides on the night sky and, you know, animals and things. So it's environmental even that we're affecting?
Correct. Yeah, there are not only impacts on wildlife and ecology, but there's also impacts on people. The night sky has been a cultural resource for us for so long. And, you know, my feeling and my belief is that as we lose touch with the night sky, we lose touch with part of where we come as human beings.
So did your students help out with some of this research and some of your projects?
Yeah, students have been involved since the beginning. I think the first project that we got involved with was back in 2015, working with Yellowstone National Park to understand where their lighting is. Since then, we've gone on to work with almost 30 different partners across the U.S. and Canada, and now I have some work going on beginning internationally as well. So several of our students, my background is civil engineering, and the nice pictures that I see on our screen, that's all civil engineering that you see. And so I made the connection based upon, my field of study was actually responsible for a lot of the light pollution we see in the night sky. And in doing so, I felt as an engineering professor, a civil engineering professor, perhaps I could spend the rest of my career doing something about that to reduce that light pollution.
So you've been working on this. Are there things that we can do? What can we do then to reduce the light pollution?
Certainly, that's a wonderful question. So the first is to think about your lighting. Do you need to have that light on outside all night, every night? If you do, can you control it in some way? And then furthermore, if you think about the light itself, when that light eventually needs to be replaced, can you go to the store and look for a dark sky approved lighting fixture? That would be a lighting fixture that has no light that's being emitted upwards or outwards across the horizon. And that the light inside, the light bulb inside is actually what we'd call a warmer color temperature. So that would be a more yellow light. And that way, yellow light refracts less in the atmosphere, so that would limit light pollution. And just not releasing light upwards helps to reduce light pollution.
So this is something that sounds like, and you kind of touched on it, that like cities and all kinds of engineering needs to think about this in the future to change the way, lights in the way we build structures even.
Certainly, yeah. It's certainly professions and government leaders, but it's also individuals who can get involved to understand, well, what would it look like to change out the lighting in my community? That in Ohio, that probably means a lighting ordinance, but also working with parks, it means being really considerate for the lighting that we're going to provide in the future. Fortunately, over time, I believe, I'm an optimist, so I believe that things can get better if we work together on this. And unlike other types of pollution, water pollution or air pollution, light pollution can be solved by turning off a switch.
Yeah, it's fascinating stuff. Thank you very much for your work and leaving a legacy and helping us to bring back the dark sky.
Well, I appreciate it. Thank you for your time today.
All right, don't go away. Noon Edition continues in a moment.